We've hit the summit, fantasy fanatics. It's the end of the fantasy hockey season for the 2024-25 NHL year, and we're fired up. If you're still kicking on the latest edition of the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast, we've got the players to nail down your season on the final waiver wire Monday of the year. Let's get this paper.
You're Locked On Fantasy Hockey, your daily podcast on fantasy hockey.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Monday, my fantasy degenerates, and welcome back inside the lab to your daily 30-minute source for everything fantasy hockey. It's the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast, and I am joined, as always, by my esteemed co-host, Mr. Steele Roden. On this side of the microphone, it's your boy, Big Flip Livingstone. Shout out to the everydayers holding us down all season long, Steele. We are here at the final week of the fantasy hockey game, and we see you, we appreciate you, and thank you so much for making us your first listen every single day. Sincerely, it means a lot. Steele, final waiver wire Monday, my friend.
Yes, sir.
A lot of targets here that I like. Some that we've spoken about. That's natural. We've mentioned a lot of players. It's been a long year. We're here. I'm ready for the postseason. I'm ready for our postseason content. We got a ton of stuff cooking up. Stay tuned. Monday through Friday. Steele and I are here all the way till that cup gets lifted. 5-game Monday board, I believe. Maybe 6, Steele. We'll get there. We'll have bets all playoffs long, cup futures, awards, whatever you guys. Over to you, my friend. I got a number of players, but who are you looking at?
Yeah, only 4 days on the schedule to half week. The last day of the regular season is April 17th, which is a Thursday. So the next 4 days is all hockey, and then we'll start buckling up and getting ready for the postseason in the National Hockey League. But thing to keep in mind for this week, if you're still in a weekly matchup in the championship round or facing off for that third place finish, there's only 2 teams this week that play 3 times. A lot of teams only play once. A lot of teams only play twice. But the 2 teams that have 3 games this week are the Detroit Red Wings and the LA Kings. Now, obviously, you can go scout the Detroit Red Wings. You can look at guys like Marco Kasper and Simon Evanson on the back end, Cam Talbot, if he's still available and you need some goalie help. I'm looking at the LA Kings.
Yes.
Andre Kuzmenko at 25% on Yahoo. We've mentioned him time and time again the last 2 to 3 weeks now. Like I said, 3 games on the schedule for the LA Kings this week. Hard schedule for them as well. Oilers, Kraken, and the Calgary Flames, who are still battling for a wild card spot. Andre Kuzmenko has been phenomenal since being traded from Philadelphia to the LA Kings. He's played 16 games with them so far. Started off very slow. He started off in the bottom 6 group. But then he's worked his way up, and he got some opportunity on the top line with Anze Kopitar, Quinton Byfield, Adrian Kempe, Kevin Fiala. So he started off very slow, went pointless in his first 7 games, but now he has 16 in his last 11 with the LA Kings. He had
Red
a
hot
night the other day. He had a 3-assist night against the Anaheim Ducks, followed that up with a 2-assist night against the Colorado Avalanche. He's getting over 20 minutes right now in his last 5 games. On average, around 16 and a half. But the fact that he's playing on that top line with Anze Kopitar and Adrian Kempe for the Los Angeles Kings, it just does wonders for his fantasy hockey value, and he's proven it right now. So obviously struggled with Calgary and Philadelphia in the short time this year. But so far in LA, he's loving it. He's playing on the top line, getting some PP time as well. And I like what he's doing in the offensive zone. He's using his vision very well out there.
And how about the top power play unit as well, Steele? And very quickly, can somebody perhaps throw some respect on this LA Kings team? Very quickly, too. 7-3-0 in their last 10 at the most opportune time of year, playing really good hockey. Any year that Connor Hellebuck isn't playing like this, Darcy Kemper probably has the Vezina, Steele. He is in the mix for a 100%. Vezina nomination, and he has been sensational. And we know that he is playoff tested. Was he behind a very good Colorado team when they won the Cup a few years ago? Sure, he was, but he still is a Stanley Cup champion. And that is an angle at this time of the year that can be critical for both your fantasy team and obviously on the ice. I am so glad that you started with the Kings, Kuzmenko, Alex Laferriere. Kuzmenko is looking great. This lineup as well, Steele, before I get too off on a tangent, Kuzmenko, Kopitar, Kempe on the top line, nasty. Kevin Fiala, tees to bets, red hot with Byfield and Laferriere on the second line. And you know how we feel about the Deneaus, Trevor Moores, and Warren Fogels of the world. Great top nine. Why can't this team make some noise starting this week? You mentioned the games played. That's key. Kraken, Flames, and Oilers. Pretty favorable schedule. I know the Flames are in the mix. The Kraken are awful, and the Oilers are in trouble. So I love this week for anyone on the Kings, Laferriere or Kuzmenko. Laferriere, 13 on Yahoo, 20 on ESPN, 51 on Fantrax. I like this kid, Steele, and I know you and I have mentioned him before. Great year, throws his body around, 121 hits, chips in with the Pims and some offense here and there, getting a good shot right now. Ice time up to over 16 minutes a night. Got to be hammering the Kings this week.
Yeah, look, Alex Laferriere for me was a very intriguing player, especially at the beginning of the season. He went cold January, February, March. I believe it was like a 17-game goalless drought, and then he scored against the Leafs in that one game a month ago. But I really like Laferriere. The fact that Quinton Byfield's coming to life as well, offensively, showing his skill set and his ability to be a contributing factor for this LA Kings team. This is going to be a fun first round against the Oilers, especially, obviously sad news. Matthias Ekholm could miss the rest of the season, rest of the playoffs potentially. Zach Hyman's gone down with injury. This is the worst timing for the Oilers right now, and they're catching a red-hot LA Kings team going into the first round. That matchup's already locked in. Over to my second waiver wire target for this week. I'm looking at the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm looking specifically at Jackson Blake. A fourth-round pick, 109th overall. This is a very deep cut. Leagues where you have 16 teams, you're looking for scraps at the end of the barrel right now. Jackson Blake has been popping up every now and again in all the fantasy leagues that I've been in this year. And I really like what he's done so far. He's 21 years old. Like I said, former fourth-round pick in the, I believe, the 2021 draft it was. Jackson Blake was drafted by the Carolina Hurricanes. Right now, he's projected on the top line. He is playing with Sebastian Aho and Seth Jarvis right now. He's only getting 13 and a half, 14 minutes, but when he does get out there, he's mostly out there on that top line or even on the second line. You can even look at a guy like Eric Robinson, who's picked up quite a few times and has been a contributing factor for the Carolina Hurricanes. 17 goals, 17 assists for 34 points. He's a plus 10, 140 shots. He's got a 12.1 shooting percentage this year. Blocks and hits, don't even bother looking at them. Anything he can get there is just a cherry on top. But you're looking for that offensive production. You're looking with him playing and getting that opportunity on the top line. And Brind'Amour has really liked his game so far. And again, every now and again, he just seems to have one of those really good nights where he pops off. Carolina, really good schedule. Montreal Canadiens, Ottawa Senators this week. They got 2 games.
Love it, Steele. I'm also loving a red-hot Seth Jarvis. If you want to get a piece of that,
your boy.
This is the player to go alongside him. I did want to throw it also on the Kings. There's a back-to-back for them this week. David Riddick's been pretty good over the last couple of games. Look at a spot start for David Riddick against a weaker opponent. You're going to have to get very granular, very specific with your moves this week because there is so much on the line if you're making any moves at all. And if you need a win, a victory, or a goaltending boost, I would say David Riddick is right there at the top for a goaltending option that you can get. Love the angles that we've thrown out, Steele. I got a couple more forwards to talk about after the break. Big time bets at the end of every episode. Steele and I will be breaking down every single postseason matchup, one by one, division by division, X factors, bets, and who we think wins and in how many games, baby. It's about to get spicy on this episode, and let's get to it right after the break, my friends. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Upwork. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more. Experts ready to take your business to the next level. Upwork gives businesses flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whatever you need, you can get it at Upwork. Find the right talent. Fast and easy to hire and cost-effective. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com. Connect with top talent and grow your business today.
Once again, thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Pod your first listen every single day. Continue to smash that subscribe button, the follow button, leave a 5-star review for your boys here heading into the playoffs. We're going to break
Appreciate
everything
that.
down, X factors, predictions, who our Stanley Cup champion will be in the 2025 season. Can't wait for the postseason to get underway. Let's get back to waiver wire targets, though. This one is, again, deep cuts. You got to get down and dirty on the last week of the waiver wire targets.
Love it.
And just find those guys who are popping out, getting some opportunity. I mean, even, if you want to look towards Ivan Demidov, potentially he's out there for this week for the Montreal Canadiens. He's going to be a guy who contributes right away for them. I'm looking at Chicago. This is a team that has a lot of guys in their organization who have, guys who can play or who are playing in the AHL, OHL, who can get some opportunity right now in Chicago because of how bad the team is. I'm looking at the blue line right now, and I'm looking at Sam Rinzel. Guys played 7 games this week. Again, I'm looking at who's getting some opportunity.
You're getting nitty-gritty. I like it.
Nitty-gritty indeed. Sam Rinzel, he's only played 7 games this year so far. The last week, getting a really good opportunity on that top D pairing for the Chicago Blackhawks alongside Alex Vlasic right now, who's also another young gun for the Chicago team. He played for University of Minnesota in the Big Ten, 32 points in 40 games this past year. He's got 7 games under his belt on the big stage in the National Hockey League. 7 games. He's got 3 assists, +2, a power play point, 16 shots on net, 4 blocks, and 10 hits. So I'm loving the peripheral stats from this guy right now. He's getting over 22 minutes of average ice time. He's also on that top power play unit because he's getting some opportunity. They're trying to get some looks from this young core and some of the picks that they've made over the last few seasons. We're getting a good opportunity down for the remainder of the season. 2 games this week as well for the Chicago Blackhawks. And it's the exact same teams I just said for Carolina. They play the Montreal Canadiens and Ottawa Senators back-to-back Monday, Tuesday.
6'4" Sam Rinzel, 25th overall draft pick. Intriguing steal. I like it. I like it a lot. I've got 3 forwards left. Spoken about one of them, but the other 2 I think deserve a lot of love. And let me start in Philadelphia. And we've been all over Torts. We understand that Philly's a bit of a mess. They've been playing some pretty decent hockey, 5-4-1 over their last 10 games. But more intriguingly, they're scoring goals. And Tyson Foerster is a player that I think has fallen off a lot of people's radars for a number of reasons. Obviously, one of them being the Philadelphia Flyers were a hot mess for most of this season, but they're scoring. And Tyson Foerster is red hot steel. 7 goals in his last 5 games. The top line, he is playing with Noah Cates and another really good young player. I believe it's been Michkov shifted around a little bit. I'm going to pull it up here in a sec.
I believe it was.
I was looking at this earlier, and it's just a really good combination. And Tyson Foerster has a ton of offensive upside that right now, like you just said with Rinzel, it's not always going to be pretty. It's nitty-gritty, and I like the Philadelphia Flyers, what they've done lately. It's also been Bobby Brink up there, and he has been putting up points. Tyson Foerster, 37 Fantrax, 5 Yahoo, 50 on ESPN. Really weird ownership numbers for this player steal. They've got Columbus this week. I think this is a good opportunity for Philly to continue to score goals to round out the season. Tyson Foerster is a piece that I very much 7 goals in the last 5 games. Now I've said one of the hottest shooters going right now.
Yeah, a lot of those guys are, again, once they're down and out, just like the same way Buffalo's been sort of the last couple of weeks, when they're finally eliminated, when they're finally out, the team comes to life and they start producing with those young guys.
Power play one time as well, Steele, by the way.
Yeah, Owen Tippett's been great as well. Bobby Brink, Tyson Foerster. We're just waiting for this team and those young guys to really establish themselves on a consistent basis to turn this organization around. I'm going to throw out my last 2 players and then back over to you. Number 1, Marcus Foligno. Again, this is a very deep cut. There's only 1 game for the Minnesota Wild this week. They play the Anaheim Ducks, so it's a very good matchup for their last game of the regular season. And Marcus Foligno, if you need a banger league beauty, the guy has a physical aspect to his game. 29 points in 76 games so far this season, but in the last 5, he's got 4. In the last 5 games, he also has 15 shots. He also has 18 hits, and he also has 7 blocks. So peripherally, he's been great down the stretch for the Minnesota Wild. He's playing on that third line with Marco Rossi and Gustav Nyquist as well. Again, you're looking for those peripheral stats, but he's also been contributing the last 5 games in the offensive zone, especially since Eriksson Ek and Kaprizov have returned to the lineup. It's spreading the wealth around a little bit. They're spreading the love. Marcus Foligno, I like what he can bring. Last guy for me, William Karlsson. I have always liked this player fantasy-wise as just one of those depth guys. You pick him up in the last 3 rounds of your draft. You pick him up off the waiver wire when he's hot. He ends up being a regular for your fantasy hockey team. He was injured for the last few months. He's been back the last 10 games, actually. And I like what he's been able to do. He's got 4 points in his last 5 games. The Vegas Golden Knights clinched their division for the 4th consecutive year in a row. He's got 10 shots on net in the last 5 games. Hits and blocks, you're not going to really get much from William Karlsson.
No.
But offensively, I like what he's doing, especially this is a guy that you can really just – he's a utility knife. He's a Swiss Army knife. You can put him wherever you want, and he just starts doing his job, and you don't even have to worry about him. So I really like William Karlsson this week. Let me get the percentage up. 12% for Marcus Foligno. I believe it's around 15% for William Karlsson. Maybe a little bit lower, but I like those 2 depth guys this week, even though the schedule for Minnesota only 1 game. And real quickly, the Vegas Golden Knights, they got 2 games this week, Calgary Flames and the Vancouver Canucks.
I love this deal. I think actually most of these players are going to be available in your leagues. Yes. Ownership all under 50%. Yours way under. Let me throw out 2 more forwards, 2 very different ones, and I'll leave the main take for a player on the San Jose Sharks that I think, Steele, we've now dropped a few names headed into next season. I don't want to tip too many favors too early, but I'm going to get there. That's a big tease. Kiefer Sherwood, a very good season for a player that headed into this season.
We'll be talking about him in the offseason.
Many people were really talking about him at all. And I know the body, like this guy leads the NHL in hits. I believe he set the record. 451 hits this season. Almost looks like a typo. But then he's got 40 pitching in with 40 points, 35 penalty minutes. Steele, he's got 6 game-winning goals this year. This also looks like a typo. Kiefer Sherwood is the ad this week. If you want a kind of that, he'll cover you peripherally, and maybe he pops off for a point or 2. Could be the perfect player to take you over the top this week. 49 Fantrax, 42 on Yahoo, 35 on ESPN. And here's the player that I really want to talk about, and I'm excited about, Steele. In San Jose right now, the top line of Macklin Celebrini, Nikolai Kovalenko, and Will Smith are looking pretty dangerous. And everyone's talked about Macklin Celebrini. That's not what this is. People are sleeping on Will Smith. This kid blew the doors off of college hockey, 71 points at Boston College a year ago. He was sensational at the World Juniors for Team USA. I believe he had like 8 or 9 points in 6 games. He has a defensive liability. He's a young player. He has a lot to learn for sure. What kid at 20 years old with 71 games under his belt doesn't? This is an elite offensive player, Steele, that I think we're just 45 points in 71 games isn't even scratching the surface. I think this is a sneaky good breakout star next season. Maybe I'm a year ahead of myself like I was with Seth Jarvis, but this player is a shooter. Over his last 5 games as well, Steele, red hot, 5 goals, 3 assists, clicking with Celebrini, over 20 minutes of ice time per night. Keep your eyes double peeled on Will Smith this week or otherwise, but I really like Will Smith this week. Oilers and Canucks, not too bad for the San Jose Sharks. Hit me with some Will Smith. 20% on Yahoo, mistake. 12% on ESPN, wake up. 60 on Fantrax, should be higher. Next year, Steele, I'm gunning for Will Smith heavy.
Absolutely in love with Will Smith right now. He's getting after it with Macklin Celebrini, William Eklund. There's some good pieces on this San Jose team. We're going to have to talk about them once again. We're going to break down all teams in the offseason who we're looking for projections going into next year as well. Stay tuned in all summer long for those player profiles from every single team. When we come back after the break, big time bets on Monday's betting board. We're getting after it. But first, this episode is also brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keeping you feeling fuller longer. Personally, we love the no-shell variety. It's the perfect grab-and-go snack for busy days. Whether I'm snacking at my desk on a road trip or just need a quick protein boost, they're always my go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options are a classic favorite. Whether you're running between meetings or dropping off the kids, Wonderful Pistachios are the snack that works just as hard as you do. Get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. And once again, thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Pod your first listen Monday through Friday. We hope everyone out there has enjoyed the Masters weekend. It's going to be a showdown on the final pairing. Rory, Bryson, we're absolutely loving this weekend. It's Masters, baby. We love golf out here too, not just fantasy hockey. But let's get over to the big time bets where we also love gambling on the NHL. Big betting board here. If you don't mind, I'm going to get us started off and I'll rattle off all three of my picks. Same game parlay. I'm loving these picks right here. And I'm loving this team right now. The Canadians on the money line against the Blackhawks right now. This is a good matchup, especially for the Montreal Canadiens to finally secure. Yeah, a very important one. Finally, again, very important for them to secure their playoff spot. The Columbus Blue Jackets are the last team, I believe, that are on their heels right now. They need one more point to secure their spot in the postseason. That's number one, Canadians on the money line against Chicago. Number two, it didn't pan out over the weekend, but I'm going right back to it. Cole Caulfield, anytime goal. He has been shooting the lights out for Montreal this year, right beside Nick Suzuki. So I'm going back to the well over here. Caulfield, anytime goal. Hoping it pans out for me this time. Favorite pick of this. I think Demidov, he's going to be a contributing factor, right? This is a player that you can put right into the lineup and he makes a difference right away. He plays at a professional level. Obviously, there's a few areas of his game that he needs to clean up, specifically in the defensive zone. Offensively, he's an absolute weapon out there. And if he's playing in the top six, if he's playing with Suzuki and Caulfield,
he might.
It's a dangerous line right there, my friend. Ivan Demidov, anytime point in this matchup, that will be my lock of the night. You're going to get a pretty good odd.
If Ivan Demidov steps onto the scene Monday night, it's in Montreal too, isn't it?
I believe it is in Montreal. It is at the Bell Center. Yes.
That Bell Center crowd, if they clinch the playoffs and Demidov is a part of it, the roof will blow off that barn, and that might send the Canadiens into the postseason on that special kind of buzz that we've seen them take and run with. Am I calling them a Stanley Cup final team like they were a couple of years ago? No, I'm not. I'm not getting crazy here. However, we know that once that calendar flips, Steele, anything can happen. So I love that you're reading into this angle. Chicago's been playing some decent hockey lately. Yes. You said it yourself, that youthful exuberance of new players in the lineup is somewhat paying off. Love these angles, and I'm loving my picks even more so. So let me break it down for you quickly. Utah at Nashville. I see this number already around 5.5 at 6. I'm going to take it over at 5.5, and I'll tell you why. Number one, it just jumps off the page as two teams that score a lot of goals and struggle to keep the puck out of their net. Very simple take, but then you look at this head-to-head Steele, 6 of the last 9 have gone over the number, and the most recent 3 games combined have produced 26 total goals. Hit me with the over. Nashville, Utah Mammoth, over 5.5, first pick. Second pick, Panthers on the puck line. The Rangers have let us down hard this year, Steele, and it's nasty now for this Rangers team. Eliminated. What is it? Rangers, Bruins, and another team. First time in NHL history that all 3 of those teams don't make the postseason, and the Rangers are embarrassing. Actually, over their last 10, Florida hasn't lost a single regulation game to the Rangers. They're 7-0-3, and 4 of their last 5 victories by 2 or more. This one's for the puck line king.
Hammer it.
Give me the Cats on the puck line for my second pick, final pick, favorite pick. You talked about the Kings a lot on today's episode. So did I, and for good reason. One of those reasons that they're so red hot, a sleepy start has come on like gangbusters for Kevin Fiala. 6 goals in his last 5 games. In his career, Also, Steele, which is also why I was looking at this, in his career against the Edmonton Oilers, and I have it right here, in 19 career regular season games, 14 career regular season points for Kevin Fiala. Lock of the night, Kevin Fiala, anytime point. Put those with all of our picks, and let's get it.
Loving these picks to start off the week. Monday, like we said, only 4 days left in the fantasy hockey season. So if you're still battling for that championship, for a podium placement, continue to keep your eyes peeled and your finger on the pulse. Thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey podcast your first listen every single day. For your second listen, check out Locked On NHL Game Night. Every game, every night until a Stanley Cup champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. From both Flip and I, we wish you good luck with your bets that final week in your fantasy hockey leagues, and we shall see you back here again tomorrow.
Peace.